Hello there my friends, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. I've taken a little break to recharge my batteries, but now I'm back firing on all cylinders. And who's in my crosshairs this week? Yes, that's right, it's our old favourites, Ariela and Biniyam. And guys, this couple seem to go round and round in circles. It doesn't really matter what the start point is, it kind of goes something like this. Biniyam: I love baby Avi, oh and Ariela. Let's go to some sort of religious festival. Ariela: see how many sacrifices I make for our relationship and our family. Biniyam: I'm popping to the shop. See you in, 48 hours. Ariela: I hate it here and I want to go back to America. And guess what? I'm taking baby Avi. And between last week's episode, this week's episode, and what we can see on the trailer for next week's episode, guys, come on, pirouette with me. We've done another full circle. So last week it was 10 AM in the morning. And Ariela is dressed to the absolute nines, a pigtail yellow ruffled dress. And she's had Bozo in yet again to do her makeup. Ariela's at home and she walks into the living room and says, Leandro, are you ready to go? And it seems they have a coffee date. Biniyam, unsurprisingly, knows nothing of this date. Poor Binny, he looks very glum, but Ariela seems not to notice. Oh dear Ariela, you'll notice when he goes out on a 48-hour bender, alright. And Binny tells us he's very worried about the neighbours. What will they say? Seeing her walk around with a random guy. Absolutely nothing, Binny. They still think you're going out with Sion. So Ariela and Leandro go for some soul searching and some coffee. And Ariela says it wasn't until seeing you this time that it sunk in that you and I wouldn't get back together. I knew that intellectually, but having you here, it's very different. And Leandro pointed out, well, when you rang me and said you were seeing someone else, I kind of knew the relationship was vanishing. And guys, this is the first thing that kind of worried me about this situation. The fact that Ariela could call him and say, I'm seeing someone else, but yet still think, oh, you're my backup plan. And the fact that he was somewhat accepting of that situation leads me to the not unreasonable conclusion they had an open relationship. Not necessarily fully open, but there's definitely a whiff of Will and Jada about it all. And that to me spells very bad news for Binny, because there's no saying they won't pick back up where they left off. But then guys, I was thrown for a loop. A really strange thing happened. Leandro said, well, you wanted to have a family. And Ariela tells production, we both said we didn't want to have kids, but when I turned 25 I changed my mind. What? Well, why wasn't this mentioned? Because this was obviously one of the major reasons why you two split up. And guys, I know you're all going to say I'm putting 20 on 10. And I'm not saying this is true, but just listen to this for a theory. When they were all sitting on the sofas at Leandro's amazing bra giveaway, Biniyam asked Leandro very straight up, why did you guys split up? And guys, remember what happened? Ariela jumped in and she said, oh, we never really split up. It was never really finished. She jumped in super quickly so that Leandro couldn't answer. She wanted to answer for him. And in all the conversation that they've had about this situation, even at the restaurant, this major issue of having kids was never ever mentioned. I think Ariela purposefully kept this one under a hat or didn't want to promote it that much to Biniyam because it would help to keep him on his toes. Because of course if Biniyam knew that Leandro didn't want kids, he wouldn't be anywhere near as worried as he is now. I think Ariela has kept this information from him in a scurrilous attempt to keep him on the back foot. And guess what? It's worked. He still has no idea why they split up. I believe this was an intentional move. Pretty much as intentional as Leandro's girlfriend. You know, the mystery girlfriend that, like I predicted, has never ever been mentioned since. And so then Leandro and Ariela spoke about if Ethiopia felt like home to her, and she claims that it does. Although she's moaned to us on many occasions, in fact every single time she opens her mouth, that she has no friends here, she has no support network here, and life's really hard. And Leandro doesn't buy it either. He said every time I spoke to Ori, she moaned that she was homesick. And then they go to talk on about Binny's lack of communication, her and Binny's relationship, and Ariela says he doesn't communicate properly. This is the same girl that kept it secret that she slept for 2 days in the same house as her ex-husband, and the same girl that dribs and drabs out information as she sees fit. You're both terrible at communication, you're both as bad as one another. And then she goes on to say, for the second time, that she's really worried that Binny may make a stupid mistake. Oh Ariela, Binny makes a stupid mistake every single time he sleeps out, I'm pretty sure of it. But again, this piques my interest because her saying it's a stupid mistake, she's already framing his upcoming infidelity as a stupid mistake. She's already excusing his behaviour before she even knows that he's done it. A terrible sign if ever I heard it. And next time we catch up with this odd trio, they're going to meet Binny's family for an Orthodox Ethiopian holiday. And as Binny walks down the street, he says hi to everybody, all of the neighbours. Oh dear, the same neighbours that are wondering what the hell's going on there. I think they call it an entanglement, I'm not quite sure though. And when they arrive at his sister's house, they light a campfire and they sing a song. Well, thank God Biniyam's in the industry, otherwise this song might have sounded kinda rubbish. Ho yeah, ho, go to the mountain, ho yeah, ho, escape the raindrops, ho yeah, ho, in different area codes. And then they dance around a bit and finish off with a coffee. And Mimi and Wish, Biniyam's sisters, and his brother Eob decide they're going to question Leandro. And Wish said, "Why are you here?" And Leandro said, "That's a very good question." "Oh, Leandro, don't assess the quality of my questions. Just simply answer them. That's all I want." And Leandro said, "I came to visit Ari because she's my BFF. Stroke X, stroke FWB. Look it up, old people. I've been hanging with my goddaughters for a week. I'm down with the kids." And Wish said, "I think it's weird. Is this appropriate or acceptable in Argentina, where you're from?" And he said, "Well, you know what? I don't follow rules. I'll take that as a no then." And quick as a flash, Wish said, "Then you're perfect for Ari, because she doesn't follow rules either." And Mimi butted in and said, "We heard about what happened in New Jersey, with you guys staying together, and she lied to Binny about this." He said, "I think she should have told Binny, but we were only there for 2 days." 2 days? It only takes 2 minutes. Also, Mr. Ebird says, "So that means nothing." So what happened in those 2 days? They didn't talk about the closure of their relationship. That happened here in Ethiopia. So what were you doing? Inquiring minds would like to know. And Ariela said, "He's here because I'm lonely, and you guys should be my family, but you don't trust me. You think I'm going to take the baby back to America." Ariela, as we've said before, you do threaten it every time you have an argument, and sometimes when you don't. And I noticed on social media a lot of people were saying that they shouldn't have compared Ariela to the previous American that Binny went out with, who disappeared off with his kid. And although they are conflating the two, it's not just because she's American, it's also because she continually threatens to take the baby. That's why they think she's going to take the baby. It's not rocket science. And Ariela stands up to go. She says his sisters don't realise that their unfriendliness is pushing her away. Oh, Ariela, yes they do. That's what it's designed to do. They want you away and to leave baby Avi with them. And guys, whilst I do think his sisters are very standoffish and unfriendly, Ariela's, how can we say, quite a difficult character to like. Her parents seem to have mastered the skill, but not too many other people. Oh dear. Ariela always wants everything her own way. She doesn't accept any responsibility for Biniyam thinking that she's going to disappear with the baby. And she wants to reframe this whole accusation as, I'm American, she's American, so they think we're the same. Interesting, very interesting. And so next time we see this couple, they're saying goodbye to Leandro. Then it seems to me that he spent more time quarantining in the hotel than he did staying with Ariela and Biniyam. And Binyam's extremely pleased. He's smiling for the first time in a week. And he says, "Bye-bye, Leandro. Hasta la vista, baby." But surely hasta la vista is see you soon. I think he wants to say adios, which is a far more final goodbye. Personally, I'd have said F off, but I'm rather more uncouth in these sorts of situations. And so the next time we see this couple, it's another day, another religious experience. So Ariela, Biniyam and the nanny are all going to experience the healing power of holy water. And as they walk towards it, Ariela just can't help herself. She decides to question the validity of the healing power of such holy water. Oh, what, Ariela? And she actually asks Binny, have scientists been here to test the water and see if the water has different properties from all of the water on the earth? Ariela, are you familiar with the concept of religion? You know, things like miracles, heaven, hell, you know, that sort of thing. You're supposed to just believe it. Where in your knowledge of the world thus far does science meet religion? I'd love to know. And I think we can all agree there's one thing that this water won't cure, and that's the contrary Mary in Ariela. And guys, I'm not massively religious, but I find this highly, highly offensive because I feel in some way that Ariela's looking down on Biniyam and his religious beliefs. Do you question all of the miracles and all of the religious things in Christianity or Judaism? I bet you don't. And Biniyam attempts to explain by saying, this water has been blessed by the priest. And Ariela says, well, do I have to believe in this for it to work? Ariela, holy water or not, I think you're beyond help. And when she gets under the water, she complains that it's so cold. Oh my god, these Ethiopians, I can't believe they haven't put a boiler in the mountain as yet. They're both lazy and thoughtless. She really is a card, she's something else. But in the end she does seem to appreciate it because she said, I've had an out-of-body experience because it was so cold. And her and Biniyam seem to be a little bit closer. And he kisses her and tells her that he's prayed for her. He's prayed one day that she'll start to act right. Binny, there's only so much that miracles can do. And Binny tells us that it makes his relationship stronger when Ari accepts certain aspects of his faith. And Ariela finishes by saying, Binny should really appreciate and see how much I do to make this relationship work. What, walking up the side of a mountain, moaning, questioning the validity of the holy water, and ergo the Ethiopian Orthodox religion, and then moaning whilst you're under the water. That's what he should be grateful for. Biniyam, you're better than I am. I would have had plenty to say. But guys, enough of all that boring stuff. It's the trailer for next week, which looks super exciting. Biniyam's having a haircut and Ariela walks in and she says, I have to tell you something. And she said, it's hard for me to talk. And she was holding her head in her hands. And Biniyam said, what, you want to move to America? Have you been talking to Leandro again? And guys, I think she's telling Biniyam, I don't want to be here anymore. It's not home. I want to go back to America. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And that's everything for this week. So what does the Ebird make to all of this? Well, I hate to say it, but I kind of think that Biniyam's a mistake stroke consolation prize for Ariela. I think she wanted to do this whole family thing with Leandro, but as that wasn't available, she jumped right into something else without thinking about it. I understand that she said she got pregnant by accident, but it's interesting to consider she was with Leandro for 10 years and didn't get accidentally pregnant. But within 8 weeks of meeting Super Sperm Biniyam, she was knocked up. Super sperm or by design? I kind of think it's by design. I think she wanted to have a kid and on the spur of the moment and in the throes of lust, she decided to throw caution to the wind with Biniyam. And I've got a feeling that she spent the whole of the rest of the time since regretting that decision. Ariela always tells us one thing, but the facts show another. She told Leandro she really likes it in Ethiopia and this is her home, but yet she phoned him and begged him to come out and see her. She told us last week that she was really grateful that she knew Mimi, her nanny, and that she was her best friend. And that really tells us that she doesn't feel at home in Ethiopia, she doesn't have any friends, and that she pines for her life back in New Jersey. And her problems with Biniyam are many. They communicate in the same manner as two drunks in a pub who speak different languages. And she seems to have excellent communication with Leandro. Also, she's used to a certain standard of living, which her parents are providing for her at the moment, and I can't foresee a time when Biniyam's ever going to be able to really make money from his singing, dancing, kicking and whatever else it is he does. And then finally, his family see so many flaws in the relationship that they're really not on board. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. So guys, let me know what you think. I've got a feeling that Ariela will drag the whole family back to New Jersey. And that will more than likely lead to the demise of this young family. There just seems to be too much effort needed on both sides to make this relationship work. I think in her heart of hearts, Ariela wants Leandro back. I can't really read Leandro as yet, but I think he's not entirely close to the idea, that's for sure. So guys, let me know your thoughts in comments. Do you think this is an uphill struggle for this couple now? And what moves do you think, if any, Biniyam can make to try and keep Ariela in Ethiopia? Please let me know in comments down below. And what do you think is going to happen next week? Do you think she's going to insist they go back to America? I kind of think she is. Right, I'm going to go and get on with my next video. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It really does help my analytics. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.